Hello and happy Wednesday. My name is Michael Leeserman here with the Trial Guide's tip of the day. It is March 6, 2024. Today's tip comes from the video David Ball on Damages, Advances, and Innovations. Here to read today's tip is David Ball. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Let's get right to this. Must not do that, those words, must not do that focuses on the bad act. Duty focuses not just on the bad act, but on the bad actor. A person who violates a duty is a bad person.
This is very interesting. Let's talk about this a bit. So I'm thinking of I handle truck cases. So I'm thinking, let's say there's you must not, as a truck driver, drive more than the safe hours. That's a must not do that. And you're suggesting, you're suggesting instead to say that there's a duty. Well, go ahead.
In order to meet your duty of being careful of ordinary care, you can't drive more than X number of hours. I don't think judges will let you say there's a duty to drive only a certain number of hours, but there is a duty to exercise ordinary care. So in order to meet the person who drives too many hours, for example, is violating a duty. And the thing about duties is that will help you get that past judges who tend to keep duty as their domain. But you can do it the way I just suggested. The advantage to that is there's something almost sacred about the concept of duty. A rule is strong. Thank God for Friedman and Malone, who wrote the initial book on this. But the word duty raises the concept of rule in terms of how bad it was to not have done something or to have done something you shouldn't have done. And once you get there, violating a duty is shameful. You don't meet your duty. We shoot soldiers who don't meet their duty. We don't shoot them because they violated a rule. It's a power word, and a very effective power word.
Yeah, I really want to think about that a bunch. I am very much a fan of talking about the standard of care, and it fascinates me that the law actually says that you're legally obligated to care, and the law tells you how much you have to care, which is up to the jury to decide.
And that is a duty. You have a duty to meet your obligation of ordinary care, however you explain it. And by injecting the word duty, you're crossing the bridge from all the legal requirements into something that becomes moral and emotional.
I think you cross many bridges. This is brilliant. And I know it's usually the simple things that are so brilliant. That's a lot of what you brought to us, is reminding us of these very powerful concepts. So I think it also crosses the bridge between, let's say, political divides. So, Jonathan Haidt would talk about individualizing and binding morality types. In other words, those who care more about fairness, those that care more about honor and duty. By saying it the way you do, that you have a duty to care, and this is what you have to do. I think that speaks to conservatives, liberals, everyone in between.
Everyone. It comes originally, you'll appreciate this, it comes originally from an Orthodox rabbi who taught me Hebrew school when I was growing up, although I did not turn out to be Orthodox nonetheless. And he said, if you're gonna drive to the synagogue on Shabbos, that's violating a rule. If you hurt somebody unnecessarily or whatever, if you harm a human being, that's violating a duty. And he made a great differential between those two things. And I guess that stuck with me for half a century or more, because it makes a lot of sense. You can't have society exist where rules can be made to be broken, and there are always exceptions to rules. There aren't any exceptions to duty. I'm talking about how the normal person sees the world. We all violate rules. We violate rules all day long. Doesn't mean not to use rules in the Friedman Malone sense. But Once you get to duty, that's someone no one should ever do, at least without an enormous kind of motivating cause, which won't exist in any of your cases.
Wow. Well, that's a lot to think of this morning.
It is a lot, and I hope people don't ignore it, because it can motivate not just your liability case, but the level of the bad act does drive the jurors to do what they need to do to provide a full and fair verdict. It's a great driver of damages.
Yeah, and when you say duty, you think of country, of military, and we think in the law of violating duty. I'm thinking of the words, dereliction of duty. There's a lot you can do with duty.
It's wonderful. I hadn't thought of that, Michael. That's very nice. A dereliction of duty? Doesn't that sound much, much worse than he violated the rule that says, however, use it sparingly, like anything powerful. Don't overdo it or it'll lose its effect. And continue to use rules. Although remember, Pat Malone and Rick Friedman differ over whether to even call them rules. I forget which one says yes and the other one says don't. Just give the content. But I'm suggesting both using the word rules in context that makes sense. But from time to time, you point out that the violation of this rule constitutes the dereliction of the duty that keeps us all safe.
All right. Thank you so much, as always, for sharing and for all that you do for trial lawyers, David.
You all go and have a nice Wednesday, the 6th of March, and be sure to spend the day doing your duty.
Let's take a deep breath together and just be grateful to be alive this Wednesday. May the work that we do today help to reduce suffering in the world. May we come from a centered and grounded place, and may this help us to repair the world, to do justice. May we fiercely and compassionately champion our clients' causes and advocate for them. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. This can take you into a meditation practice, a prayer practice, or just let the sounds wash over you and remind you, wake up. It's Wednesday. Go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.